Hi everybody, it's me Vic. Today I wanted to talk about Nutty's widgets that I use with Streamer.bot as well as OBS. Those widgets come in extremely handy when it comes to a streaming workflow. And I have to say, I used the horizontal chat prior to Nutty adapting it for Streamer.bot. And I loved that particular feature, but what I liked about what Nutty did was you can actually toggle off the platforms, right? And he's created what, multi-stream alerts, which is a very simple and nice, clean, minimalistic look, and that's actually the vibe that I have. So I've been using a lot of his widgets for my own workflow when it comes to my stream, and I wanted to talk about one particularly, which is actually his HUD screen for the prompter. Let's go ahead and go to his home, check him out, right? Like if you're going to buy an Elgato product, use his code, right? Help him out. He makes really great stuff. All right, so here we go. Now this is not like some sponsor or anything. I'm just talking about the workflow that I use because this thing is amazing. It's everything that I've actually been wanting when it comes to actually recording content, etc. So this thing right here, right? This info HUD display, it consists of information on your prompter, or however you want to project it. So if you have no prompter and you have a second monitor or something, you could technically go into OBS and either project it. Hold on, I know y'all can see this. You can create a window projection, or you can actually project it onto a second monitor or whatever. So like it doesn't have to be the prompter, but I use it on the prompter because I know there's a camera right behind it. So it comes in handy, right? But if you create this thing, I do want to mention there was something that took me a moment to realize I had to reconfigure or rename something in the browser source. So let me pull that up real quick. Now everybody can see the whole thing, whether it's in vertical or horizontal real quick here. But let me go to the properties, and I am going to take out my password real quick. Almost anyway. The reason why I'm doing that is so that way I can show you what I configured. So there's a whole thing here, right? But it says microphone at the end. And I did a quick snippet, but it says microphone at the end there, and what you want to do is actually rename it to whatever you labeled your microphone as. And mine, I put mic, so I just took off the rest of it, and you're able to see the LNRs, which, we can go back to the main, and we can see the LNRs right here. And I did that because I wanted you to see where the mouse is moving on where I'm pointing. So this is going to work with your microphone as soon as you configure your password. And that password that they're talking about, let's go to tools, let's go to WebSocket server settings. This is something you will have to set up, and I'm going to do a little pop-up, but I'm not going to show you my password. You're basically going to copy this and input that in part of the URL. And you're going to make sure your server port is 4455, all that fun stuff, right? After you've done all of that, it should be working like you see right here. The reason why there's a red border is because I'm recording. If I were streaming, it would be purple. I have a different profile for streaming. I do one for console gaming and then one for PC gaming, right? So I have a single PC setup right now, unless I'm doing dual PC by using my Mac and playing PC games. But that's another story altogether. So this comes in extremely handy. Well, I wanted to be able to add my chat, and so we're going to talk about something else because I do use Streamer.bot, right? And Streamer.bot, you can see there's a lot of interaction here. Yeah, we have a lot of interaction here, and this is going to be what I'm going to use to type in, because Streamer.bot, you can type in here. I have to be live, so I'm going to actually use my Twitch account because Twitch lets you send whatever, whenever, especially when I'm testing something out. So we're going to use Twitch to send a message in an overlay. Now, that's another thing that I was going to talk about, because he's created this to work with Streamer.bot, is their multi-chat overlay. Now, I'm not using the horizontal chat in my widget, so right here in the HUD, I'm not using the horizontal chat. I use horizontal chat on my actual live stream because it's very minimalistic and it's at the very bottom, and I prefer it that way. I like the chat to see the engagement with each other, but also, it's like sometimes you have to toggle it off if there's someone toxic and they say certain things. It's like shield mode, whether you're across one platform or the other, right? You just have that one multi-chat that you can just turn the source on and off, and that's it. You don't have to worry about it. Now, it would be nice to have like shield mode for a multi-stream across all platforms, but I don't think that tool exists yet. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the widget open here. So I had it over here because I have mine configured, so I'm gonna just pop that open real quick here. Multi-chat vertical, yeah. Okay, here we go. So this is what I primarily use, and since mine is already completely set up, right, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn that widget on, and I need to go to my camera and turn on multi-chat, and we're gonna go back to our main, and then you're gonna see as I type into the Streamer.bot chat right here, just so that way you can see I'm showing you how it works. Testing. So this is how I'm able to see when a chat comes in and what it looks like. So I'm still seeing me, how I look on camera, right? Because I'm mindful of like those things, but I'm also seeing, okay, I can read this, it's legible, it's big enough for me to see, and it's dead center in front of like all of the other criteria to make sure that I'm able to see my FPS, I'm able to see like the CPU, I'm able to see if I have any skip frames, I'm able to see what profile I'm on, and the LNR moving up on my mic. So this thing comes in extremely handy when it comes to my workflow, especially when I'm live streaming, right? Because then I don't miss anything. I see it on the prompter, I see what's going on, and I'm like, oh, neato. With Social Stream Ninja, I had that feature minus like the cool HUD stuff, right? Like I didn't have that with Social Stream Ninja. I did, however, have audio beep through when a message would come in, and I realized over time that would be super annoying. I was thinking about it, and I was like, imagine if your chat just started flooding with conversation and it was back and forth, pretty fluid, and then you hear beep, beep, beep every time. That would drive me insane. So I decided this works. I don't need to hear the audio when a chat comes in. It comes in handy when you go through like a certain silence period where no one is chatting and then you hear a chat, right? Like that would be cool, but it doesn't exist yet. Or if it does, I don't know how to configure it that way. And I'm good with this. This works. Now, the other thing Social Stream Ninja did, which the HUD does not, although Nutty does have a widget for a Twitch viewer count, I actually, me personally, I don't really need to use the widget because I feel like if you see the numbers, it becomes a little overwhelming depending on how many people are actually watching. One thing I can say is Social Stream Ninja does have TikTok integration on the viewer count. Other platforms do not. So I know I could create one in Stream Elements. I did not have time to do a viewer count in Stream Elements. So I used my old Streamlabs account, y'all. Don't judge me. So we're gonna go there. So yeah, background color. Oh, you know what? I saved it originally. Font color is white. You can choose between Twitch and YouTube if you wanted. I already have my viewer count right here, so mine should have a transparent background though. Oh, I guess it's there. That's supposed to be the transparent background. Anyways, what you're gonna see is you only have the options between Twitch and YouTube. So if I wanted to come here and add my viewer count, right? Minimize this, hop back over here. So I could literally be chatting with people and seeing what the numbers are on each platform, how many people were viewing it. That's one thing that I did add in case anybody else wanted to do this for their particular HUD layout. And hopefully that helps you like with your workflow, whether you're on another monitor, if you don't have a prompter, because it will, like I said, you can project it. Projection mode, you basically go to your scene or your nested scene or a source, and then you're gonna right click, and then it's gonna say open scene projector. If I do it with the Facecam Pro, for example, I could do open source projector. So me personally, since it's already collected into a scene, I'm gonna do open scene projector, and I'm gonna actually send it, I sent it to the wrong one. We're gonna open screen projector and send it to my Xeneon monitor, and now I'm basically an overlay on top of my HUD screen. So you can project it to a screen and you can still see all of that stuff like directly in front of you. This is a very big monitor. It's a 32-inch, right? So it's like super, super big. But you're able to see all of those details if you don't have a prompter. However, I do want to say that having a prompter with a camera right behind it, you're able to look at your multi-chat. You're able to give them full eye contact, right? I'm going to turn off the projector mode on this one though. So give me just a second. This one. Oh no, it turned off on my prompter. Hold on, y'all. It gets a little funny when you do that. It would be nice if there was a Stream Deck button where I could just put open projector to prompter, and then I wouldn't have to stress about like, oh my God, did I close out the wrong window or whatever. So yeah, I mean, this is basically the workflow. It is. It comes in handy. I hope it helps somebody else who's starting out on their streaming journey and was like, I want something like this that has this information depending on what platforms they're streaming on. I would like to see, you know, between Stream Elements and Streamlabs, or, you know, what other people who are working on overlays for viewer counts, to include TikTok. I will throw Kick out there. I'm not on Kick. Right, we know that, but I will throw out there that they should have the viewer count for Kick as well, and that would be really, really cool. You know, there's a lot of people who are on different sources or different platforms, and I feel like those platforms should also have like a viewer count widget. I think it helps them with their stats or something like that to keep track on like, oh, is somebody watching? Or, you know, not knowing might help you if you have anxiety or something. I used to be camera shy, and now look at me, I'm making content. It's crazy. Anyway, I hope this has helped. I've been so excited to talk about this because I've been using it for a couple of weeks in my streaming workflow, and I thought it was worthy of sharing. I hope you find it very useful, and I appreciate you giving it a watch. Thank you for watching. Until next time.